Imagine being the only boy of your school who could not go to the next class. Something similar would happen with the main hero of this anime if he could not manage to form a contract with a familiar before his final exams. This story takes place in a magical world where having a magical pet, known as a familiar, is essential. Our hero is attempting to summon a magical creature, but instead, he accidentally summons a demon. The story begins at a magical school where we meet our hero, Alto. The teacher informs him that if he cannot summon a creature and make it his familiar, he won't be allowed to progress to the second year. Though Alto excels in all other subjects, he struggles with summoning magic. Some students have even managed to summon insects as their familiars, but the teacher tells Alto he has until the next day to succeed. Outside, Alto meets his friend Lilia, who suggests confronting the teacher, but Alto insists the teacher isn't wrong. Familiar companions are crucial for the second year, so he decides to find a solution, knowing he has until tomorrow. Alto heads to the library, where he tries summoning creatures but fails repeatedly. As he ponders summoning rare and unusual creatures, an ancient-looking book falls on him. Excited, he realizes the book contains a unique summoning ritual. Following the book's instructions, Alto prepares a summoning circle, chants the spell, and adds a drop of his own blood. To his surprise, a marvelous mysterious girl with horns and a tail emerge from the magic circle. Alto learns her name is Vermeil. She tells him that she is a demon. She agrees to become his familiar, and a symbol appears on Alto's hand and Vermeil's chest, sealing their contract. Vermeil, however, requires something in return. She kisses him, absorbing his mana. Vermeil then wears Alto's sister's black dress, and the two sit to chat. Vermeil realizes Alto is a student at a magic academy. She explains that his mana is unusually powerful and dense, which scares other creatures from becoming his familiar, as it's like poison to them. However, Vermeil, being a demon, finds such dangerous and powerful mana appealing. The next day, they visit the teacher, with Vermeil hiding her horns and tail to appear human. Alto convinces the teacher that Vermeil is his familiar, even though no human has ever had a human-like familiar in recorded history. When Vermeil shows the contract symbol on her chest, the teacher believes them, though maybe the teacher was convinced by her huge tankers rather than the symbol. However, Lilia isn't pleased with Vermeil's presence. In the next scene, Vermeil is seen sitting on Alto, and the teacher warns them against such behavior. Vermeil remarks that other familiars stay close to their masters, as that's the academy rule. But Lilia has had enough of seeing Alto with Vermeil. She gets angry at Alto in the middle of class, which results in the teacher sending her out. After class, Lilia approaches Alto and Vermeil, who are standing together, like a couple, and, furious at Alto because of Vermeil, she throws down her red tie, challenging Alto to a duel. According to school rules, conflicts between students are settled through duels, and the winner can make the loser do anything they want. If Lilia wins, Alto will have to keep Vermeil out of his room and not summon her unless he needs help. If Alto wins, he can ask Lilia to do anything. Lilia takes this a bit differently but agrees to the duel. They both head to the battleground, where arrangements are made so all students can watch the duel. Students can use their familiars in battle. Lilia summons her high-class wind spirit, and Vermeil is surprised that Lilia, at such a young age, has made a contract with a high-class spirit. Filled with rage, Lilia unleashes a powerful attack on Alto. Alto doesn't have enough time to block it, but Vermeil steps in, saying that no matter what happens as his master, she will protect him. She takes the attack head-on. Lilia believes Alto is defeated, but Vermeil's clothes aren't even torn by the wind attack. Now, it's Vermeil's turn to attack, and she gives an evil smile, which terrifies Lilia. Vermeil uses a strange attack, causing Lilia to make odd noises, which amuses the watching boys. With this, Alto wins the duel, and Lilia has to obey his request. Alto tells her he wants her and Vermeil to become friends and never fight again, as no one can break the duel's order. Both of them agree, though there's still a bit of tension between them. Later, back in the dorm, Vermeil suggests that Lilia might be in love with Alto, but Alto explains they're childhood friends, and she's been acting strangely for a few days. Since Vermeil helped him, she wants a reward. Alto asks why, as a powerful demon, she needs his mana. Vermeil explains that her power diminished from being sealed in the book for so long, and if she doesn't absorb mana, she'll disappear. Alto's mana is extremely powerful. Alto thinks having a demon as a familiar is just like any other familiar, but Vermeil explains that humans often die from contracts with demons because a demon's excess power and a human's limited mana can be dangerous. She assures him she has what he needs, and he has what she needs. Blushing, Alto insists the kiss method is fine. The next day, they arrive at school, where everyone is astonished by Vermeil's huge personality. Alto asks her not to do anything that draws attention. Just then, a high-class dragon familiar goes out of control and charges toward Vermeil and Alto. Vermeil flicks her finger, sending the dragon flying and turning it into a star in the sky. In the next scene, the principal addresses the students, congratulating them on reaching the second year and informing them they'll now study magic more deeply. Alto scolds Vermeil, telling her that no ordinary human can send a dragon flying with just a flick. The attention of the other boys, however, was all on Vermeil's personality. When Alto and Vermeil head outside, Lilia approaches them and remarks that there's a rumor spreading throughout the academy about a junior and his girlfriend who sent a dragon flying. She comments that everything has been chaotic since Vermeil's arrival. The scene cuts to the next class, where an old teacher explains that if students care for and love their familiars properly, their bond and relationship will strengthen. But if there's insincerity in their love, the familiars may go on a rampage and harm their masters. In the following class, the teacher discusses demon seals, explaining that these seals contain over 100 layers of barriers, which is why demons cannot enter the human world. This information is highly classified, yet Lilia remains upset with Vermeil because she's sitting too close to Alto. When class ends, the three of them are walking together, with Vermeil and Lilia still bickering. Alto reminds them of the duels order, which they are bound to follow. Just then, two students appear, one of them named Rex, and other his supporter. The supporter tells Rex, "That's the girl who turned my dragon into a star." Rex and the other student are members of the Dragon Riders Club, a group for students who have dragon familiars. Rex doubts Vermeil's power, thinking that they must have used some trick to defeat a dragon. Vermeil is starting to get annoyed with their nonsense when Alto sneaks behind them and traps them in a crystal using advanced crystal magic, which impresses Vermeil. She remarks that Alto is highly talented for his age, as crystal magic is advanced level magic. Rex, however, won't give up easily and summons his familiar, a dinosaur-like creature, frightening both Lilia and Alto. Rex, a fifth-year student, proposes that if Vermeil apologizes in a different way that suits him, he'll forget the whole thing, hinting at an inappropriate interest in Vermeil. But Alto refuses. The dinosaur charges at them, and though Alto is scared, Vermeil embraces him and transfers the mana she absorbed through their kiss the day before. This creates a golden mana circle behind them, and Alto uses his powerful crystal magic to defeat the approaching dinosaur, resulting in Rex's loss. After everything ends, Rex even apologizes, and Lilia jokes, saying this is why seniors shouldn't underestimate juniors, laughing at the irony. Back in their room, Alto scolds Vermeil for causing such a scene despite his warnings, drawing everyone's attention to them. Vermeil replies that school life is boring and filled with endless magic studies, questioning if Alto will even achieve what he wants. She suggests that she could make him rich if he desires. Alto starts thinking about his life goals and shares that their nation has 4 magic ranks: gold, silver, bronze, and apprentice. Even reaching bronze or silver rank is rare in school, but Alto aspires to be more than gold rank. He wants to become a platinum rank mage by making unique contributions to magic research. Vermeil, hugging Alto close, says she chose the right master and promises to help him achieve platinum rank. The next day, Vermeil appears very cheerful, while Alto looks rather drained. Lilia sees them and quickly deduces that Vermeil must be behind Alto's exhausted state. Just then, 2 people appear, a boy named Marcus and a girl named Cheryl, his servant. Marcus comes from a noble family and is Alto's rival. He's thrilled to hear that Alto defeated a senior in a duel. At that moment, a teacher arrives and tells them that the principal has summoned all 3 of them. Alto, Lilia, Cheryl, and Vermeil go to meet the principal, where they learn that the 3 of them, as second-year toppers, are in the running to be class representatives. However, they must pass a test. By 6 p.m., they need to find the fairy flower. The one who finds it first will be chosen as the class representative. Marcus is lurking around, and Cheryl mentions to him that because he failed all 9 subjects, he wasn't selected by the principal. But Marcus is undeterred and summons his familiar, a beetle, and heads into the forest to search for the flower. He cries out as he enters, triggering Alto's memory that the forest contains dangerous carnivorous plants. When they reach Marcus, they see Cheryl desperately trying to rescue her master, eliminating them from the race. The remaining 3 push forward and spot the fairy flower at the mountain's peak, but a 3-headed dog guards the path. Alto wonders how they'll get past it. Lilia says she has an invisibility potion, which is extremely rare, but Alto warns her that the dog has an incredible sense of smell. However, Lilia points out that the dog currently has a cold, so she decides to use the potion. She actually took it to spy on Alto's room, but she ends up using it here and vanishes, except for her clothes, which remain visible. Blushing and embarrassed, she removes her clothes and sends Alto away so he can't see her. Lilia, feeling awkward, cautiously moves toward the dog, with her face flushed. Vermeil then advises Alto, "Master, you should act fast or Lilia might win." Alto asks Vermeil if she can transfer some mana to him again like yesterday. To amplify Alto's magic for the fight, Vermeil needs a little more mana herself. Lilia finally reaches the dog, but one of its heads, unaffected by the cold, senses her presence. Just then, Alto launches a fire attack on the dog and instructs Lilia to grab the flower. Alto uses his crystal magic to distract the creature, while Vermeil flies up and performs a powerful sleep spell, which causes an explosion and sends the dog to sleep. Lilia grabs the fairy flower and hands it to Alto as a gesture of gratitude for helping with the dog. Just then, the invisibility potion's effect wears off, and Alto suddenly sees everything, causing him to drop the flower, which flies up and lands near Cheryl, who is still dragging Marcus away. As time runs out, Cheryl is declared the class representative. Although Marcus is elated by this outcome, Alto and Lilia are unbothered. Lilia tells Alto, "I lost this time, but next time, I'll surpass you." In the next scene, Vermeil is happily eating ice cream, which she finds delightful, as the modern world feels futuristic to her since she was sealed for so long. Alto still doesn't know much about Vermeil's background. When Vermeil asks for more ice cream, Alto warns her that she'll gain weight if she keeps eating so much. Just then, dragon riders pass by in the sky, including their leader, Chris. Vermeil offers Alto some ice cream, which he shyly accepts. After training, Marcus, Alto, and the others were resting, and the conversation shifted to Chris, the captain of the Dragon Riders. Chris founded the Dragon Rider Club and made it popular, and after graduation, she is likely to be recruited by the Royal Air Force. She's also one of the Academy's 7 gold-rank mages and a council member. Hearing all this, Alto realizes that it's possible to become a gold-rank mage while still in the Academy. Lilia explains the student council to Vermeil, mentioning that the council includes 5 gold-rank mages from different clubs who are powerful enough that even teachers hesitate to cross them. Alto also learns that the council president is on the path to becoming a platinum-rank mage, which is a remarkable feat. Meanwhile, Vermeil keeps bothering Alto with her teasing, which leads to another argument between her and Lilia. Later, while changing in the changing room, Lilia is venting her frustration about Vermeil to Cheryl, who's also there. Lilia mentions that Vermeil's powerful attack in the magic forest defeated a 3-headed dog with just one move, something even gold-rank mages would struggle to do. She's suspicious that Vermeil is hiding something from them. Cheryl, noticing Lilia's feelings, suggests she should act on her love for Alto before it's too late. Lilia, embarrassed, denies this, saying they're just childhood friends and that's why she's concerned for him. Then she realizes Vermeil isn't around and wonders where she is. As it turns out, Vermeil is in the boys' changing room, where the guys are blushing at her presence. When she steps out, Alto tells her she should have gone to the girls' changing room. Lilia arrives and, fuming, questions why only Vermeil got to see Alto in changing room and not her. Just then, a group of council members pass by, arguing among themselves, but as they pass, Vermeil and Chris make brief eye contact, which feels intense. Later, when Alto is back at home taking a bath, he praises the student council members for their power. Vermeil surprises him and teases him again, causing him to blush. She offers to make him as strong as a council member. The scene then shifts to Rex, who is getting berated by Chris for losing to a junior without a familiar. The other student tells Chris that Alto's familiar is actually a human girl, which makes Chris suspicious, reminding her of Vermeil. Despite this, she continues to berate Rex, even kicking him hard enough to make him bleed. She offers him a deal. If he cleans her shoes, she'll forgive him and let him back into the club. However, Rex, finally accepting that the Dragon Riders aren't worth it, chooses to leave the club on his own, prompting Chris to beat him up even more. This incident piques Chris's interest in Alto. In the next scene, Rex is in the hospital, and Alto, Lilia, and Vermeil visit him. His supporter has spread the news of Rex's hospitalization. Rex downplays the injuries, calling it just a few scratches from a fight with a crazy girl, and then asks Alto about his opinion on dinosaurs. Alto replies that he finds them both strong and terrifying. His friend mentions that Rex is no longer a dragon rider, which makes Alto feel responsible for Rex's condition, so he decides to confront Chris in a duel. Lilia tries to stop him, but Alto doesn't back down. Alto and Vermeil head to the battle arena, where Chris is already waiting. She gives Alto one last chance to withdraw, but he refuses. Chris summons her familiar using her sun magic, a black dragon. Watching this, Alto and Vermeil share a kiss, causing Lilia to blush unexpectedly, though she doesn't fully understand why. Vermeil gives Alto a burst of golden mana, surprising Chris as Rex's friend rushes to inform Rex, who's reading a dinosaur book, about Alto's duel with Chris. Alto launches a crystal attack, but Chris blocks it with a fireball and counters with another fireball, which Vermeil intercepts, burning her slightly. She confronts Chris, pointing out that she's using her full power against a junior. Chris remarks that while a lion might use its full strength against a rabbit, a dragon never would. She sees this as Alto's punishment for not respecting his seniors and launches another attack, which Vermeil blocks, getting injured in the process. Chris is astonished that Vermeil can block her attacks without magical protection. Alto fires another crystal attack, but Chris easily counters it, observing that Alto is strong for a second year. Vermeil channels all her remaining mana to Alto, allowing him to create a massive crystal barrage that causes an explosion, seemingly overwhelming Chris. However, Chris emerges unscathed atop her black dragon, remarking that letting her on her dragon was Alto's biggest mistake. As Alto finds himself cornered, Chris taunts him, offering him a chance to beg for mercy, like Rex, if he wants to leave in one piece. Instead, Alto questions her condescending attitude towards others. Chris explains that people fear dragons not for their claws or fire breath but because they can soar in the sky, ruling as the kings of the heavens. She sees herself similarly, viewing everyone else as mere insects on the ground. Two council members observe the duel from afar, with one leaving, certain that Chris will win. Meanwhile, Vermeil shields Alto from Chris's attacks, urging him to gather his mana so she can strike down the dragon in one blow. Chris smugly notes that attacking from above gives her advantage and considers any mage with a powerful familiar to be superior. She mocks Rex's familiar, calling it a mere lizard compared to a dragon, reaffirming her disdain. Alto recalls Rex's words about dinosaurs, countering that each person's familiar is special to them. Chris challenges him to prove it, agreeing that duels are meant to prove one's beliefs. Vermeil shares this sentiment, and she and Alto combine their golden mana. In the final clash, Alto's crystal attack overpowers Chris's fireball, but Chris can't locate Alto. She realizes too late and Vermeil has carried him into the air, holding him in her arms. Meanwhile, Rex's friend tells Rex about the match, though Rex doubts any junior could defeat Chris. The scene shifts to Alto, who manages to get close to Chris and secure a win by placing a crystal around her neck, officially defeating her. After the duel, Alto becomes incredibly popular among the girls, who fawn over him for defeating a gold-rank mage. Lilia, however, is not pleased and jealously scratches a piece of fabric like an angry cat. Cheryl tries to calm her, saying it's normal, but Lilia's frustration intensifies, imagining throwing rocks at the girls, which even scares Alto. Just then, their teacher, Obsidian, arrives, immediately drawing the attention of all the girls. Obsidian advises Alto that his decision to duel so hastily was a mistake. Obsidian Sensei advises Alto to be cautious in the future, saying that although he won this time, he might not be so lucky if he loses one day and is forced to fulfill the victor's command. He acknowledges that Alto's motives were good this time but advises him to think carefully next time, then leaves. Alto jokes, asking Lilia if she's a fan of Obsidian too, to which she angrily glares at him before hitting him. The scene then shifts to Chris, who's sweeping as part of Alto's order after her defeat. Rex approaches her, and Chris apologizes, explaining that Alto forced her to do this. Rex forgives her and even offers to help. That night, Vermeil kisses Alto while he's asleep, waking him up. Alto had asked her not to kiss him in his sleep, but Vermeil, victorious from defeating a council member, considers it her reward. Alto believes kisses should be reserved for someone you love, and Vermeil playfully responds that she loves him, so her kisses are genuine. The next morning, Alto feels exhausted, while Vermeil is glowing with energy. Reflecting on Vermeil's words about love, Alto approaches Obsidian Sensei and asks if a demon can genuinely love a human. Obsidian, amused at Alto's romantic curiosity, explains that historically, humans and demons have had offspring together. He also warns Alto that demons often pretend to love men to drain their mana, which shocks Alto. Later that evening at dinner, Alto behaves distantly, even losing his appetite. Vermeil noticed it. He asks her if she's only interested in him for his mana. She reassures him with a tender embrace, explaining that she only takes mana to survive, and kisses him again, this time without absorbing mana, as a real sign of her love. She even encourages Alto to give her a real kiss, making him blush and shy away. The following day, both Alto and Vermeil are radiating with happiness. Alto meets with Obsidian again to apologize for his intrusive question. Obsidian, happy to see that Alto isn't as downcast as before, shares some wisdom, warning him that attachment can lead to pain. He remarks, every girl can be a bit of a devil, suggesting that Alto should stay cautious to avoid heartbreak in the future. The scene then shifts to Obsidian in his office, where a female student visits him. She's clearly infatuated with him, and while he pretends to return her feelings, he secretly has a mysterious injection with him. The scene cuts to a frozen room where the girl, now encased in ice, lies in a coma. Rumors spread around the academy about a fourth-year student whose room has mysteriously frozen. The girl, still alive but comatose, catches the attention of the student council, including Ryuga, the bespectacled vice president, who reveals that she's not the first student to end up in a coma. Several silver-rank mages have suffered the same fate. Jessica, another council member, explains that it took 5 people 2 hours to break into the girl's ice-covered room, which was sealed with an unusually thick layer of ice. The student's name is Emma, a top ice magic user, and this incident hints at a deeper mystery unfolding within the academy. The situation at the academy grows increasingly troubling as more students fall into mysterious comas. The student council president is visibly distressed by the events, and Ryuga, the vice president, tries to calm Jessica, who angrily demands faster action, frustrated by the president's pain. After Jessica leaves, Ryuga explained that she is deeply obsessed with the president. The scene shifts to Alto, who is meticulously measuring Vermeil's height as part of an assignment to write a detailed report on his familiar, including her daily activities, favorite food, and unique traits. As he works, Vermeil, wanting the measurements to be accurate, starts removing her clothing. Lilia and Cheryl, suspicious of Vermeil's intentions, have snuck in like a ninja to spy on them. While Cheryl has no real interest in Alto, she accompanies Lilia, who's fuming over what she sees as inappropriate behavior from Vermeil. Lilia's familiar spirit reports back to her, increasing her jealousy. Determined to intervene, Lilia sneaks into the boys' dorm using an invisibility potion and an extra key to Alto's room she possesses. Hiding behind a bookshelf, she observes as Alto, oblivious, reaches out for a book right beside her and accidentally bumps into her invisible form, inadvertently touching her tankers. Strangely, Lilia seems pleased by the contact. As Alto continues the report, he notes Vermeil's fondness for sweets. However, running late for a shopping trip, he invites her to join him. Before leaving, Vermeil mischievously adds, "and Alto" under her favorite things, implying he's her favorite as well. The scene then cuts to Chris, who is injured along with her black dragon. Rex and his dangerous dinosaur familiar are responsible, having grown increasingly aggressive. We flash back to Rex's past, where he summons a large egg, expecting it to hatch a powerful dragon. Chris, intrigued, shows up, and her fascination with dragons leads to their first connection. Back in the present, Alto and Vermeil are at the marketplace, shopping for vegetables. Vermeil, craving dessert, is disappointed to learn that Alto doesn't have enough money for it. Pouting like a child, she sits outside the shop and refuses to move. Alto eventually gives in and buys her a dessert, making Vermeil so happy that she impulsively kisses him in public. Embarrassed, Alto reminds her they're in a public place, but Vermeil playfully points out that he once said that people in love can kiss anytime, anywhere. Alto tries to resist, but Vermeil slyly gives him a kiss that drains some of his mana. Just then, Rex's friend arrives and asks Alto for help. The scene shifts to Chris again, struggling against Rex, who is reveling in his newfound, fierce strength. Rex has changed drastically and appears no longer to be in control of his own actions, attacking Chris mercilessly, leaving her in a perilous situation. Chris, struggling in her fight with Rex, pleads with him to stop, noticing he's not in control. Despite Chris's attempts to counterattack with a fireball, Rex is unaffected, and his body is covered in stone. He mercilessly continues his assault, using earth magic to injure her while taunting her. Just then, his friend arrives with Alto and Vermeil to help. Chris warns Alto to escape, but Alto decides it's time to teach Rex a lesson. Vermeil recognizes the strange dark mana emanating from Rex. It's demon mana, though this revelation isn't fully explained. Rex summons his dinosaur familiar, which also has become stone-like. Vermeil, prepared to unleash her own demon powers, is interrupted by a silver-haired girl wielding a magical sword with an eye on it. This newcomer is none other than Elena, the student council president. She attacks Rex and his dinosaur with Hert's judgment sword, slicing through their stone armor effortlessly. She approaches Chris, checking on her and subtly chastising her for losing to such a weak opponent. Rex tries to retaliate but collapses, unconscious. In the following scene, Rex is shown resting in the hospital. 3 days after the incident, the student council members gather to discuss recent events. They conclude that someone must be behind these incidents, possibly using drugs or black magic, although they are still uncertain of the exact method. This lack of knowledge leaves them unable to cure the afflicted students. Upset, Chris leaves, and Ryuga comments on her tendency to overreact when others mistreat those she cares for. The scene shifts to the bronze rank exam, where Lilia is excited, though concerned about Rex's situation. She urges Alto to pass the exam quickly to avoid facing Rex's wrath upon his return. Vermeil, appearing unusually drained and distracted, excuses herself to go to her room, leaving Alto to study in the library. Alto finds her behavior odd, as Vermeil rarely leaves him alone. Since Rex's incident, Vermeil seems troubled, and Lilia seizes the opportunity to invite Alto to study in her room. Meanwhile, Vermeil is deep in thought about the dark demon mana. Just then, Professor Obsidian arrives, making casual conversation. However, Vermeil has already sensed that he's the one behind the coma cases, detecting his excessive mana for a human. She warns him to stop his experiments, as she gives an ominous threat. If he goes near Alto, she'll destroy both him and his soul. Amused by her defiance, Obsidian surprises Vermeil by injecting something into her neck, causing her to stagger. The scene shifts to Lilia, who's studying closely with Alto, when suddenly his pact symbol begins to emit a strange energy. At the same time, a massive explosion of mana shakes the academy, alarming Elena, Chris, and the council members. Realizing something has happened to Vermeil, Alto rushes back to their room, determined to check on her. Meanwhile, Elena senses a demonic force blocking her path, a peculiar magic paper that multiplies and reforms each time she tries to cut through it. The papers seem to taunt her, insisting she stay where she is to ensure the success of their plan. The scene focuses on Obsidian, who is witnessing Vermeil fully unleashing her demon form as she has lost control due to the injection. Despite the immense destruction caused by Vermeil's small attack, Obsidian is thrilled by the sight. Vermeil's powers have made the ground shake, leaving the area in ruins. Elena is engaged in battle with a strange doll, while Obsidian uses his powers to chain Vermeil, making her kneel and allowing him to control her. Alto and Lilia arrive at the scene, both shocked by the sight of Vermeil being controlled. They demand an explanation, which Obsidian gladly provides. Obsidian reveals that he created a special drug, capable of making any creature lose control, particularly effective on demons. He struggled to bring it into liquid form, but his experiment has been a success so far. He admits that he tested it on 5 people, leading to the chaotic situation they now face. Alto begins to understand the situation, recalling Vermeil's memories of being sealed in a book. She had felt as though she was drowning in deep water, surrounded by darkness and silence, but a desire for something had driven her. As the memory fades, a gate appears, revealing Alto, and upon seeing him in the present, and breaks Vermeil's chains, Vermeil breaks down in tears as Alto had to see her real form and now he would hate her, becoming even more dangerous. Vermeil attempts to attack Obsidian again, but Alto steps in to protect him. In the process, Vermeil's attack passes through Alto, causing her to regain some sense of awareness. Alto, trying to calm her down, admits that his body moved on its own and reassures her that everything will be fine. He collapses, and Lilia rushes to him, crying. Vermeil, unwilling to see Alto die, kisses him, healing him with her golden mana. This act of healing makes Alto's heart start to beat again. Obsidian, witnessing this, is shocked, realizing that even death cannot stop demons when they possess such powers. Overcome by madness, he uses the drug on himself and transforms into a grotesque demon with multiple eyes. Obsidian, having merged with the powers of over 100 low-level demons, becomes a terrifying creature. He threatens to kill Vermeil, calling her a worthless demon, but she responds with a devilish smile and delivers a powerful demon punch, obliterating half of his body. Obsidian, badly damaged, attempts to flee, but as he rises into the sky, he's intercepted by Chris, who attacks him, forcing him to fall back down. Vermeil then finishes him off, sending him crashing to the ground. As Obsidian begs for his life, Alto, having saved him earlier, prevents Vermeil from delivering the final blow. Vermeil hesitates, not wanting to kill him due to Alto's intervention. Meanwhile, Alto regains his consciousness, and Lilia rushes to his side, crying uncontrollably. Alto, stunned by everything that happened, and is equally surprised by his own recovery. After everything that happened, Vermeil couldn't bring herself to look Alto in the eyes. The scene shifts to Elena, who is still engaged in battle with the strange doll, and the doll cryptically says, "We will meet again." The focus then moves to Alto and Vermeil, where Alto explains how even the doctor was shocked by how quickly he healed. Vermeil, in an emotional moment, reveals a big secret to Alto. She tells him, "The heart you have now is mine. You now have a true demon's heart. If I die, you will die too, and if you die, I will die." Hearing this, Alto becomes furious because had Vermeil not done this, she could have lived for centuries as a true demon, but now, since he is human, her life will be cut short because of her actions. She's story then informs that nothing is known about the entity Elena was fighting, and Obsidian has been captured by the guards and thrown into prison. The scene shifts to Rex, who has regained consciousness, with Chris sitting beside his bed. The students who had gone to the coma were doing better now. Alto and Vermeil's relationship becomes complicated due to the demon heart. To stay alive, Alto now needs Vermeil's mana, but Vermeil is distancing herself from him. She feels that, because the demon heart will fuse with Alto's body in some time, and once that happens, Vermeil will no longer be needed and will likely be sealed back into a book. Alto becomes angry upon hearing this and, in an emotional moment, kisses Vermeil. This time, it's a normal kiss without any mana, and he picks her up, telling her, "Why should I be afraid of you? You are my only familiar, and I am your master." He blushes and quickly leaves. Vermeil reflects on his words, recalling how Alto had once told her that the person you truly love should be the one you kiss, and that person should also feel the same way. The next scene shows Alto sleeping, calling out to Vermeil in his dreams, which she witnesses. The following day, Alto arrives at school, where the girl students are mourning because of Obsidian's departure. Meanwhile, the boys are concerned because Vermeil hasn't been attending school recently. Alto tells them that Vermeil is feeling a bit unwell, but the truth is that Vermeil had asked for some time alone. Alto decides to buy something sweet for her to cheer her up. The scene then shifts to Vermeil, who is by the lake, and Lilia appears. Lilia senses that Vermeil is hiding something and confronts her. Vermeil admits that she is a demon, and Lilia encourages her, saying, "Whether you are a demon or a human doesn't matter. What matters is whether you are a good person or a bad one." Lilia also tells her that it doesn't matter if she's a demon. The real question is what Vermeil feels for Alto and what Alto feels for her. She then strikes Vermeil lightly, revealing her visible horns, and suggests that her wind spirit also likes Vermeil. The scene then moves to Alto, who is holding the sweet he brought for Vermeil but finds that she is not at home. Vermeil eventually comes home, and Alto is relieved to see her. Vermeil says, "If I stay with you, bad things will keep happening to you. I've done this before, but I'm really happy with the things you said to me yesterday. I want to be with you." Alto, feeling a sense of relief, reassures her, "I'm your master, and whatever you need, I'll fulfill it. Look, I even brought you donuts." The next day, Alto is getting ready in his uniform when Vermeil joins him, wearing her own uniform, which is a bit too small. The teacher had insisted that Alto put her in the largest size available. Alto feels extremely embarrassed and tells Vermeil, "We'll buy you new clothes later." Vermeil is now going to school because in some classes, familiars are required. Meanwhile, the scene cuts to a place where many people have died. A boy and a girl are seen talking on the phone. The boy is complaining that Professor Obsidian failed and shouldn't have been part of their team. The girl, however, defends Obsidian's research, claiming that it could help them take the title. At that moment, a man, who is eating a lollipop, is attacked from behind. However, just before he could strike, the attacker is taken down by another force. This reveals that the boy, Elite, and the girl, Helio, are platinum rank mages. The scene returns to Vermeil, who has reached school. The boys at school are happy to see her, especially the boys in Alto's class, who are now relaxed because they feel that, after seeing Vermeil in school uniform, they can peacefully die. However, some are still debating whether Vermeil looks better in her black dress or the new uniform. Soon, the bronze exam is approaching, and familiars need to be in top condition for the test, as it determines the mage's skill level. To pass the test, Vermeil needs a lot of Alto's mana, and Alto, in turn, needs Vermeil's demon mana to stay alive. The scene shifts to a council meeting, where Alto and Vermeil are summoned by council members and the president. They thought that council members planned to take Alto and Vermeil into custody. In the meeting room, Alto is worried that the council has found out about Vermeil being a demon. Elena apologizes, saying that because of the student council's interference, Alto had to be admitted to the hospital. She then admits that she doesn't know who or what she fought during her mission, and nothing has been revealed about Obsidian either, since he escaped from jail. She requests that if Alto has any information on Obsidian's transformation or anything that could help, it would be greatly appreciated. At first, Alto is reluctant, but when Elena questions him more seriously and even points a sword at him, Vermeil intervenes, telling Alto to tell the truth. Alto finally reveals that Vermeil is a demon, surprising everyone. Elena, however, smiles upon hearing this and assures him that it's not a problem. Alto then goes on to explain everything about the demon heart, Vermeil's past, and that Vermeil is a good demon. He insists that Vermeil had no involvement in the events with Obsidian. Alto firmly states that if the council wants to expel him, they can, but Vermeil should not be harmed. He even expresses that he's ready to give up his dream of becoming a platinum rank mage in his second year if it means protecting Vermeil. Elena responds, "You've misunderstood. I don't care about your personal life, and I won't tell the other teachers about this. There's a rule at this school that all familiars are equal." Rika agrees with Elena's stance, noting that there could be other faculty members like Obsidian in the school. However, Jessica disagrees with the fact that Vermeil is a demon and doesn't fully accept it. Elena tells Alto that if anything goes wrong, she would only need to kill him, and Vermeil would die on her own. Alto replies that he trusts her words. Vermeil, sensing something amiss, asks Elena what her plan is. Elena surprises everyone by offering Alto a position on the student council. Everyone is shocked by this offer. Alto, in turn, questions Elena, asking if this is just a way to keep an eye on him and Vermeil. Elena responds, admitting that she wants to keep an eye on them, but she also believes that Alto, being with a demon, must be powerful, especially since he defeated top-ranked mages and a council member like Chris. She tells him that he should help protect the school as well. Later, news of Alto joining the student council spreads, and Lilia and others are surprised. Elena had kept the real reason for her actions a secret from everyone. Cheryl remarks that since Alto defeated Chris, it's only normal for him to join, while Marcus is especially happy because no second-year student had ever joined the council before. Lilia, although happy for Alto, warns him that she plans to beat him in the upcoming bronze exam. Back at home, Vermeil notices that Alto seems troubled. Alto confesses that he's worried because Vermeil's secret is slowly being revealed to everyone, and he feels forced into joining the student council. Vermeil reassures him that everything will be fine and advises him not to let his guard down. She also comments on Elena's strange vibe, suggesting that Elena might not even be human. Vermeil believes that if Alto hadn't joined the council or revealed the truth, Elena would have killed him. Alto responds, saying that while Elena may be intimidating, he has to stay strong to protect Vermeil and keep her secret safe. Vermeil is happy to hear this, and they share a kiss, reigniting their previous affection. The scene then shifts to Elena, who is praying and reflecting on Alto's words. She says she has found him out and, with a smirk, cuts through a statue of a goddess with her sword, calling it the world's greatest misfortune as she laughs and walks away. Meanwhile, Alto and Vermeil arrive at the council room. Alto is determined to become the world's strongest mage, even more powerful than platinum rank mages, so he can proudly declare that he is Vermeil's master. They enter the council room, where the other three girls are changing clothes. Jessica, visibly upset with Alto, wants him removed from the student council, as she has a deep, traditional mindset, believing in idealized relationships. Elena comments that it was their mistake for not locking the door and changes the subject. She announces that today's meeting will focus on a paper related to the fight she had with the strange doll. The paper was examined by an appraisal specialist, who confirmed that the magic formula used in the fight has no record in the book of history, and even gold-rank mages can't properly analyze it. This indicates that their enemy is likely a platinum-rank mage. The scene then shifts to Isla and Helio, who are meeting with Kohakama. They are discussing the paper and the doll Mage, who fought with Elena. Isla is furious with Eolite for breaking their communication doll, which they had been using for their operations. The scene transitions to Eolite and Helio, who are discussing their strange demon, and Eolite reveals that he has already defeated the guild master of the Golden Tower, Hashwell, to everyone's surprise. Kohakama is shocked by this declaration, but Eolite confirms that he killed him, not just convinced him. Afterward, Eolite and Helio leave, their next target being Alto and Vermeil. In another scene, Alto finds himself in a ruined area where a small Vermeil is crying. Suddenly, he meets an older woman who asks him how he feels about Vermeil. She presents him with two choices: one path that leads to justice and will benefit humankind, and another selfish path that only benefits him, bringing destruction to humankind. Alto wakes up from this strange dream, feeling disturbed. The next day, Alto continues preparing for the upcoming bronze exam. Vermeil notices that Alto is staying up late studying again. Alto is worried about the practical exam, as he is confident in passing the written portion but feels immense pressure regarding the practical exam, especially from the student council members and, most of all, from Chris. Vermeil offers to help him in the match, and they share a moment of trust and affection, reaffirming their bond. On the day of the exam, Alto is ready but finds the book with Vermeil's seal on it. He still can't read it and wonders which mage sealed it, but his thoughts are interrupted when Vermeil calls him. He places the book into his bag, unsure of what it contains. The atmosphere is upbeat as students from all over the nation arrive for the exam. Marcus explains that every year, students from many schools come to take the bronze exam, and only a few make it through. The first part of the exam is the practical exam. When the exam begins, the students are faced with a crystal where flames are burning. Their teacher, Colonel Ference, a demonic mage, gives the instructions. He explains that they must channel their mana into the crystal to increase the fire, and their score will depend on how much they can increase it. While many students think the task seems easy, Alto knows it's more challenging than it appears. As the exam begins, at the instructor's direction, many students step forward to try and increase the flame by supplying mana to the large crystal, but several fail to succeed. The instructor then calls on student number 87, none other than Lilia. She steps forward and summons her wind spirit, confidently thinking to herself that she knows how to do this. Placing her hand on the crystal, she focuses her mana on the flame burning within, not just the crystal itself. As she does so, the flame grows intensely, just as she predicted, impressing everyone. The instructor announces that her score is the highest among all the students so far, bringing joy to Lilia and her group. Next, the instructor calls a boy whose contract spirit was a small dragon. Observing closely, the boy touches the crystal, causing its flame to burn even brighter than Lilia's. Following him, Marcus's servant steps forward and achieves similar results. However, when Marcus takes his turn, he fails to affect the flame at all. Then, the instructor calls on Alto, student number 107. As Alto and Vermeil approach, the crowd whispers, doubting Vermeil's presence. The instructor silences them, explaining that Vermeil is Alto's familiar and that he has received confirmation from the academy. Alto, analyzing the crystal, realizes it's enchanted from the backside to direct incoming mana toward the central flame. Requesting permission to supply mana from behind the crystal, he is granted approval by the instructor, who is impressed by Alto's understanding. Alto proceeds, but Vermeil warns him that his chosen position isn't ideal. She tells him to supply the mana from the other side of crystal. Adjusting his stance, he supplies mana, making the flame surge and even change color. The instructor is astonished, realizing Alto has chosen the most challenging side of the crystal. Despite this, Alto continuously channels mana, almost as if the crystal is fragile. Vermeil urges him to push even further, and with a surge of energy, the crystal shatters into pieces, leaving everyone, including the instructor and his assistant, in shock. Alto feels embarrassed and apologizes, fearing he'll fail. Instead, the instructor congratulates him for passing the practical exam, though he reminds Alto that the written exam is still ahead. Relieved, Alto thanks the instructor and leaves. Afterward, the assistant questions whether the crystal was defective, but the instructor denies this, marveling at Alto's ability to break such a complex object effortlessly. He quotes that not even gold or platinum square-level magicians could accomplish this, making him enjoy working with young magicians even more. The next scene shows Alto and his group enjoying a meal in the garden, celebrating his achievement. Lilia teases Marcus about his supposed secret weapon, which he didn't use during the exam. Marcus reveals it's a six-sided pencil that he uses exclusively for written exams, having relied on it for 14 years. Lilia then wonders aloud how challenging the written exam must be and whether anyone has achieved perfect scores across all categories. Marcus's servant mentions knowing someone who has done just that, acing every question and earning perfect scores in all exams. Hearing this, Alto is initially intimidated, but Vermeil reassures him that he has already excelled in the practical exam and will do well in the written test too. Lilia boosts everyone's morale, saying they all performed well in the practical and will succeed in the written as well. The group cheers together before the scene shifts to a romantic moment between Alto and Vermeil. They were transferring mana between each other's bodies, and as for how they were doing it, well, I don't think I need to explain it. On their way to the exam room, Alto tells Vermeil that they should reach the hall before the exam starts to set everything up properly. However, Vermeil wasn't paying attention to anything Alto was saying. Suddenly, the same guy who brought the small dragon to the practical exam passes by. Seeing him, Alto silently congratulates him on passing. At that moment, Vermeil insists on another kiss right then and there. Seriously? Didn't they just kiss a while ago? How many kisses does she want? At this rate, she'll rip the poor guy's lips off. Alto, though reluctant, doesn't argue, knowing resistance is futile. Meanwhile, the sounds of their little shenanigans are overheard by that boy in the washroom. He mutters, "Dear Lord, spare me from this nonsense," before walking away, cursing Alto under his breath. As he's leaving, Light suddenly appears behind him and casually greets him. The boy tries to ignore Light and move away, but before he can, Light stops him and swiftly takes him down. Stealing his exam hall ticket, Light smirks, saying, "This is all I needed from you." The scene then shifts to the Amelia and the Jessica practicing swordsmanship. The Amelia easily disarms Jessica with a single trick, then remarks, "You still have much to learn." After practice, they both relax in a hot bath together, Jessica commenting on how she still can't believe that Alto has a demon as his familiar. She also mentions that they're about to face a dangerous platinum-level enemy. She adds that Alto is incredibly smart, but she's puzzled as to why he didn't stop Vermeil when she gave him her heart. The president responds, "Jessica, haven't you figured it out yet? It's because Alto loves Vermeil." Jessica is stunned, as she had never imagined that a human could fall in love with a demon. Suddenly, the bell for the written exam rings. Hearing it, the president hopes that Alto's exam will go smoothly without any incidents. Meanwhile, thanks to mischievous Vermeil, Alto is running late. He rushes to the exam hall and barely makes it on time. Standing outside, he tells Vermeil that familiars aren't allowed inside the exam room and asks her to wait somewhere nearby. Vermeil agrees, replying with a sarcastic "Yes, sir." Once inside, Alto takes his seat and wonders why the person supposed to sit next to him hasn't arrived yet. Just then, Light sits down beside him and wishes him good luck for the test. We see Alto taking the exam, fully focused and deciding which questions to attempt and which to skip. However, his attention is drawn to Light, who is casually sleeping beside him. Seeing this, Alto mutters, "Hey, you idiot! Why are you sleeping? Hurry up and finish your paper." He's shocked that Light could be sleeping during such an important exam. But brushing it off, Alto decides to focus on his own test. "Fine, I'll just have to write my paper myself." After some time, Light finally wakes up, but by then the exam time is almost over. To Alto's utter disbelief, Light begins writing at an astonishing speed, completing the entire test within seconds. Alto's jaw drops. What kind of person is this? Light casually starts talking to Alto, but Alto hushes him, reminding him that they're still in the middle of an exam. Light responds, "Oh really? But honestly, I doubt anyone will be able to finish their test here." This confuses Alto. Has he lost his mind from writing so fast? Just then, a teacher rushes into the room, announcing that a student's dead body was found in the restroom. The entire hall turns their attention to Light. Smirking, Light says, "Wow, you figured it out quicker than I expected." Before anyone can react, a massive explosion rocks the classroom, and a giant stone statue emerges from the ground, with Light sitting atop it. Hearing the explosion, Vermeil, who is outside, senses danger and prepares to enter. Meanwhile, Light reveals to Alto, "I'm your enemy, little demon master," indicating he knows everything about Vermeil. The teachers attempt to attack Light, but he counterattacks with ease, lifting one of them into the air. Just before the teacher is about to be killed, the instructor intervenes, breaking a piece of the statue and rescuing the teacher. At that moment, Vermeil crashes through the window and tells Alto, "He's extremely dangerous. Cover me quickly." Alto immediately attacks Light with his ice magic, followed by Vermeil's assault, but Light blocks their attacks effortlessly. This terrifies Alto, realizing just how formidable Light is. The instructor identifies Light as the youngest platinum magician ever. Hearing this, Alto recalls the Marcus's servant mentioning someone with perfect scores in every exam, Light. The instructor also mentions that many believe Light's power comes directly from God. Light jokes, "Oh, come on, you're embarrassing me." The instructor asks Light why he hasn't taken any hostages, to which Light replies, "Oh, you underestimate me, instructor." With that, Light summons his magical staff, and the stone statue transforms into a massive cannon. Everyone is stunned. Light taunts, "Did you think I'd be afraid of you?" Outside the school, Lilia is desperate to enter, worried about Alto. She defies the police, shouting, "No law can stop me from saving my Alto." She rushes into the school with the police following her. However, they inexplicably find themselves back outside the school. Marcus's servant realizes that someone has placed a transparent magic barrier around the school, likely Light's female accomplice, who is observing the scene from a distance. Back inside, Light's cannon begins firing indiscriminately. The students and teachers barely dodge the attacks, countering with their magic, but none of their efforts can harm Light. The cannon's blasts eventually hit everyone, including Vermeil and Alto. As the smoke clears, we see the school in ruins, and Light has captured Vermeil. Smirking, Light declares, "It seems no one can stop me, not even a demon." However, Alto stands up and demands that Light release Vermeil. His anger surges, and the contract spirit symbol on his hand begins to glow. Golden mana emanates from his body, even shocking Light. What is this power? After this, Alto uses his power to attack Light's stone statue, shattering it completely and freeing Vermeil. We see a large amount of golden mana radiating from Alto's body as he angrily declares, "I promised Vermeil that I would protect her." However, even after witnessing Alto's rage, Light remains unfazed and summons two more massive stone statues. But Alto, still furious, unleashes his power again and topples them effortlessly. This time, Light seems genuinely irritated. Alto charges at Light to attack him, but Light's horse intervenes, blocking his path. Light approaches Alto and says mockingly, "It seems no one has recognized your potential yet." Alto, in a low voice, asks Light what he plans to do with Vermeil. Laughing, Light replies, "Oh, just what any bad person would think. I plan to use her power, along with the rest of the demon offspring, to destroy this entire world." Hearing this, Alto is shocked. He tries to break free from Light's magic and charges to punch him, but Light grabs his hands and slams him to the ground. "Don't pass out so soon, buddy. We've got a lot more to enjoy," Light taunts. Suddenly, Vermeil transforms into her true demon form and attacks Light, but he remains unfazed. His expression doesn't even flicker as iron chains appear out of nowhere, binding Vermeil in her demon form. Light then summons a key, and as he spins it in the air, Vermeil collapses unconscious. He prepares to leave with her, but Alto blocks his path, declaring, "I am Vermeil's master. I won't let you take her away." Annoyed, Light snaps his fingers, prompting his horse soldiers to unleash a fire attack on Alto. However, the attack is cancelled by an unknown force emanating from the ancient book that Alto had brought along. The book floats before Alto and opens, revealing the figure of the woman Alto had seen in his dreams. Surprised, Alto asks, "Who are you?" The woman replies, "I am known as the magician of the beginning. I was the one who sealed Vermeil in this book." She explains that when she sealed Vermeil, she placed a part of her soul inside her as well. Hearing this, Alto is astonished. "So, you were the one who sealed Vermeil in here?" The woman responds, "Oh no, don't blame me so quickly. Vermeil herself asked me to seal her in this book." This revelation leaves Alto bewildered. Why would Vermeil ask to be sealed? The woman approaches Vermeil and casts a spell on her, saying, her bad memories and emotions are still trapped within this magic. "Will you accept Vermeil along with all her painful memories?" Alto responds without hesitation, "Yes, of course. I care deeply for Vermeil. I don't fully understand what happened, but no matter what, even if she made mistakes, I will always stand by her." Hearing this, the woman instructs Alto to access Vermeil's old memories and emotions. A key appears in Alto's hand, and Light, observing this, says in confusion, "I don't know what's happening here, but are you really planning to leave me behind?" The woman reassures him mockingly, "Relax, we'll be back soon." As Alto inserts the key into a mystical lock that appears, a portal opens, and they disappear before Light could attack them. Moments later, we see the woman and Alto floating above a vast city. Looking below, Alto asks her, "Where are we?" She explains, "We're inside Vermeil's mind, observing the memories she wishes to forget." Alto, concerned, asks, "What about Light?" The woman reassures him, "Don't worry about him. Time and space in the world of memories function differently from the real world. But beware. If you fail to save Vermeil here, your mind will also become permanently trapped in this world. The timeline here is 550 years behind your current world." Hearing this, Alto wonders, 550 years ago? Vermeil was alive even back then? Suddenly, they spot a young girl running through the city. Realizing who she is, Alto exclaims, "That's Vermeil." The girl is frantically calling out, "Sister? Sister? Sister?" Alto keeps watching from above as a young Vermeil spends a joyful time with her sister and younger siblings. She appears genuinely happy, unlike the present-day Vermeil. Seeing this, the lady tells Alto that the happiness visible on her face now is very different from the kind she shows in the present. She also reveals that Vermeil is not blood-related to them, and we understand that Vermeil and the other children grew up in an orphanage. In the next scene, we learn that a sister, dressed like a nun, and a girl named Mio took care of Vermeil and the other two children. Watching this, the lady informs Alto that they don't know how Vermeil ended up there, but she spent a good time with these people. Later, during the night, we discover that the sister already knew Vermeil was a demon. Vermeil asks the sister why she treats her so kindly, even though Mio said demons are dangerous and the only enemies of God. Since the sister is a follower of God, Vermeil wonders why she isn't afraid of her. The sister responds, "Mio is right, some demons are dangerous but not all. And as for treating you kindly, it's because we're family, and in a family, we always treat each other with care." Alto finds this surprising because, as the lady explains, people in those times were terrified of demons, and the fear of demons was widespread. However, everything soon takes a turn for the worse. In the next scene, we see some boys throwing stones at Vermeil after learning she is a demon. Seeing this angers Alto, and the lady warns him, "If this upsets you, then you shouldn't watch what's coming next because it's going to be even more horrifying." Yet, Alto chooses to keep watching. Before the boys can harm Vermeil further, Mio arrives and chases them away. But when she sees Vermeil's horns, Mio is shocked. It becomes clear that Mio didn't know Vermeil was a demon. Realizing this, Vermeil begins apologizing to Mio for hiding her demon identity. However, this revelation doesn't affect Mio's feelings. Instead, she hugs Vermeil and says, "Don't worry. Everything will be okay. I promise I'll protect you because I'm your big sister." But with Vermeil's demon identity exposed, the villagers gather in front of the church, demanding Vermeil be expelled from the village. Seeing this, the sister reassures Vermeil and the other children, "Don't worry, Mio and I are here for you." However, the crowd outside the church grows angrier by the day. The lady explains to Alto that many villagers had died due to a plague, and they blamed Vermeil for it, believing it was the work of the demon. The sister, stepping outside, yells at the villagers, "Why are you doing this? Vermeil didn't cause this. She's just a child. She doesn't have the power to do such things." But the villagers, blinded by fear and anger, refuse to listen, repeatedly accusing Vermeil of being responsible and insisting she be banished. The sister retorts, "May God forgive you for this sin, but I never will." Inside, Vermeil overhears this and feels deeply hurt. At one point, she even considers leaving, but Mio grabs her and says, "Vermeil, you should leave us and run away. I know you can run fast. Get as far away from this village as possible. Don't worry about us. We'll figure something out. I promise we'll reunite as a family someday." Hearing this, Vermeil refuses. "I can't leave you all alone like this." Mio, crying, pleads with her, "Vermeil, I'm sorry I can't come with you. I have to take care of these two little ones too because I'm their big sister." Tears stream down Mio's face, and her pain is evident. Seeing this, Vermeil also begins crying but soon calms down. "Everything will be fine, Mio. I'll leave, but thank you for being my big sister." In the next scene, we see Vermeil running through the alleys, but she soon collapses, unable to run any farther. In her pain, she calls out for Mio and the sister, but then she hears the sound of several people running toward her. And so, she immediately hides inside an alley and overhears the men talking. Brothers, if we don't find Vermeil soon, we'll force the people in the church to reveal her location. Hearing this, Vermeil realizes that if she escapes, the villagers might harm Mio and her two younger siblings at the church. Determined, she decides to surrender herself. As she runs out of the alley, the sight before her leaves her stunned. She sees her family hanging from a tree along with her two younger siblings. The villagers had killed them. The scene shatters Vermeil's world. The four people she considered her family were no more. She remembers Mio's words about how God loves little children, but seeing her family like this leaves her devastated. Vermeil breaks down, crying uncontrollably, unable to believe the cruelty of the villagers who destroyed her family. Just then, the villagers approach her, noticing her horns, and exclaim, "Look, brothers! She really is a demon. She has no right to live here. Let's kill her now." As they inch closer, Vermeil's mind flashes back to Mio's comforting words. "You are a kind, innocent little girl, Vermeil. I know God will save us somehow." But now, her entire family was gone, taken by these foolish villagers. Consumed by rage, Vermeil transforms into her true demon form. In an instant, she unleashes her powers, burning the villagers to ashes. By the end, the entire village is destroyed by Vermeil's immense power. The lady turns to Alto and says, "So, you've seen it. This is Vermeil's worst memory, the one she wishes to forget." The destruction she caused was far worse than the plague that afflicted this town. From that moment on, Vermeil isolated herself, and though she was eventually sealed in the End's book 200 years later, by then, she had earned the title of a demon magician. Her power was so dangerous that even other demons couldn't face her. Now, after seeing all this, do you still want to stay with Vermeil? Hearing this, Alto immediately approaches the young Vermeil. She initially refuses to recognize him but then says, "I've done terrible things, things I can never undo. That's why no one will ever like me again." She begins to cry uncontrollably. This scene is exactly what Alto had seen in his dreams. Watching Vermeil cry, Alto hugs her and says, "Everything will be okay. I'm here for you. Don't be scared, okay?" At that moment, as Vermeil continues crying, she suddenly transforms into her present-day form. She sobs, "After everything I've done, no one will ever love me again." "I know that's how it's going to be." Alto responds, "Hey, don't say that. I love you so much. Not just me, but Sister Mio and your little siblings loved you too. And no matter what, even if the whole world turns against you, you'll always find me standing by your side." Hearing his words of love and trust, the chains binding Vermeil to her bad memories shatter, and they both teleport back to the real world. As they return, Alto looks at Vermeil and says, "I love you. From now on, you'll never feel lonely again." Vermeil and Alto return to the real world, having shattered the construct Light had created. Seeing this, Light remarks, "The item you just destroyed was a rare artifact. This proves how powerful both of you are. Well then, let's start our fight." With those words, Light uses his magic to create two massive stone statues. With a snap of his fingers, the statues crumble into pieces and merge with his horse, transforming into a new magical warrior. The creature, half warrior and half horse in appearance, leaves both Vermeil and Alto awestruck. Light smirks and says, "Since you've destroyed the artifact, you must have seen the dangerous weapons it contained. But more dangerous than any of them is the demon Vermeil. Her power is so immense that she could not only change this world but erase its very existence. No demon can stand against her might. It's a privilege for us to celebrate using her power to bring an end to this world." Before he can say more, Alto interrupts, declaring, "So what if she's a demon? Her destructive power doesn't matter to me. Do you know how much Vermeil loves sweets? Have you ever seen her laugh? Do you know how much she has endured in her past? I won't let you lay a finger on her." Hearing this, Light laughs and retorts, "Fine, but what will you do about this?" He refers to his magical warrior, which begins to charge a powerful attack aimed at them. Seeing this, Alto and Vermeil prepare to fight back. Enormous mana emanates from their bodies, golden from Vermeil and silver from Alto. When the warrior unleashes its fire magic, Alto and Vermeil join hands, meditating briefly to synchronize their powers. Their combined energy allows Alto to cast a massive ice spell. The ice block collides with the warrior's fire magic, creating an intense clash. Eventually, Alto's ice spell overpowers the magic and strikes the warrior, destroying it completely. Light, impressed, says, "Ho ho, I didn't expect you two to be this strong." Purple mana begins to surge from his body as he prepares an even more dangerous magical attack. However, before he can complete the spell, a mysterious woman in a black hat appears, stopping him. Alto immediately senses her immense power and realizes that she is also platinum rank. The woman instructs Light to leave, saying, "There's a growing crowd outside. We need to leave immediately." Light reluctantly agrees, saying, I was having so much fun. Can't we fight a little longer?" She refuses firmly, and they depart. Before leaving, Light turns to Alto and says, "Keep practicing because I'll come back to finish this fight one day." Alto starts to chase after them, but Vermeil stops him. Suddenly, the mysterious woman appears behind Vermeil, startling Alto. It's then revealed that her real name is Fatima. She tells Alto, "One day the entire world will turn against you. Will you still stand by Vermeil then?" Without hesitation, Alto replies, "Yes. I'll become even stronger, just to protect Vermeil. I promise I won't let anything happen to her." Hearing this, Vermeil smiles faintly. Fatima, moved by Alto's resolve, lifts her head, revealing her face for the first time. She tells Alto, "Take care of Vermeil. She's a dear friend of mine." Alto nods in agreement, and Fatima bids them farewell. Fatima then performs a large-scale magic spell, restoring the school to its original state after the destruction caused by Light. Meanwhile, Lilia, seeing Alto unharmed, jumps on him in relief, followed by Marcus and his servant. Seeing everyone safe, Alto feels immense joy. At this point, the scene shifts to show Alto practicing swordsmanship with Jessica. However, his physical abilities are no match for Jessica's, and she effortlessly disarms him with a single strike, sending his sword flying. She then kicks him to the ground. Just as Alto is about to get back up, Chris arrives and offers to train him in hand-to-hand combat. Hearing this, Alto becomes visibly nervous, but the training begins nonetheless. The next moment, we see Chris mercilessly sparring with Alto under the guise of practice. Though it appears lighthearted to others, for Alto, it's a serious effort, as he's determined to become stronger. After the grueling session, Alto thanks both Jessica and Chris for helping him train. He then asks, "When's our next practice session?" Jessica, slightly concerned, asks, "Why are you pushing yourself so hard to become stronger? You're already quite strong, in my opinion." At this, Alto recalls his words to Fatima, that he will become the strongest magician in the world to protect Vermeil. He then tells them, "I just want to keep Vermeil safe. I never want to see tears in the eyes of the one I love." Hearing this heartfelt statement, Jessica blushes and becomes shy. Later that night, when Alto and Vermeil are home, they share mana with each other again. Interestingly, the once shy Alto now appears more composed, while Vermeil is the one blushing, a change that began after Alto confessed his love for her. As they lay down to sleep, Vermeil confesses, "My heart has been racing ever since you told me I love you. Thank you for accepting me for who I am, despite my dangerous nature. And thank you, most of all, for holding me when I was crying. That meant so much to me." In return, she finally says, "I love you." Alto responds with, "I love you too." The next day, while walking to the student council office, Alto reiterates his resolve. "I must become stronger, for one person, Vermeil. And I will become strong." At the student council office, the president addresses everyone, saying, "Recent incidents have greatly affected our academy, especially the innocent students. As president, I can't take this lightly. It's the responsibility of the student council to protect the academy's students. I want to hear your thoughts." The bespectacled member responds, "Well, we don't really stand a chance against you in decision-making, but I think we need to improve ourselves to better protect the students." Jessica adds, "Whatever you say, I'll follow." The red-haired member chimes in, "Not only do we need to protect the students, but also their contract spirits?" Chris, agreeing, says, "Yes, we need to teach those who caused harm, especially what they did to Rex, a lesson. We can't let this slide." Her evident anger suggests something deeper at play. After listening to everyone, the president turns to Alto and asks, "What's your opinion? Let me be honest with you. If this continues, we may have to face the kingdom's military or the magicians of the Platinum Square. What do you plan to do?" Alto responds confidently, "It doesn't matter. I'll go to the ends of the earth to protect Vermeil because I am her master." In the next scene, we see that Lilia, Marcus, and his servant have all passed the bronze exam. Although Alto has also passed, he isn't present, which annoys Lilia, as she's convinced he's with Vermeil. As expected, Alto and Vermeil are found behind the school, celebrating their success in the bronze exam in their own romantic way. This is the end of Season 1, guys. If you enjoyed it, do like this video and subscribe to the channel for more recaps.